Hello you guys, and thank you so much for tuning into my channel. I just wanted to say hey to all of my wonderful and beautiful subscribers. You guys mean so much to me. Like, I try my best to respond to all of my comments, but if I don't respond, I do still see your comments, and I just appreciate it so much. You guys are absolutely amazing. I can't even express how you guys have made my day. You've made my freaking year just from your love and your support. So thank you, thank you, thank you to everyone who's messaged me on Instagram, everyone who comments, everyone who subscribed. Thank you guys. So I just wanted to hopefully make a short video. I keep saying that in all my videos, but they're never short. But I just wanted to give some of my younger trans YouTubers advice that I wish I had gotten early in my transition. Now, when I transitioned, you need to understand I had never been socialized as a female. A lot of the things that I know now, I had to learn along the way. I didn't know how guys treat girls. I didn't understand what male gaze was. There was so much I didn't understand. And I walked into my transition fairly naive. Now, a big portion of my transition was spent being clockable, where people were just really nasty to me and really mean to me. And then after surgery and after my hormones, the paradigm shifted. Suddenly, people viewed me as a female, as they should, and I started getting attention from guys. Now, I was completely naive. I assumed that if a guy was being friendly to you, he was just being nice, or if he was buying you drinks, he was just being nice. I was so naive, and I just want to warn you guys to go into the club scene with your eyes wide open. So, let me begin this story right at the beginning. I met this German girl, and we had decided to hang out. We went to Long Street, at which point I met some of my other friends. Now, in this group of friends, there were 3 girls, and there was 1 guy that I didn't know. Now, inasmuch as I was very naive about guys, when I was sitting with the group of friends, I noticed that the guy was interested in me. Like, he was just very friendly, he was very flirtatious, and yeah, he was just giving me a lot of attention. So I picked up, okay, this guy is interested in you. Now, when I went out that evening, I was not trying to meet anyone, so I really wasn't in the space where I wanted to talk to a guy. I was just there with the girls. So I kind of just blew him off and I ignored him. Now, we started partying together. We went to, I think, 2 different clubs, and by the second club, the 3 girls that I was with, they kind of were tired. They had worked that day, so they were exhausted. Now, it was only like 10 o'clock, 10:30. So 10 o'clock is when Long Street in Cape Town starts pumping. So, I did not want to go home yet. So I was like begging the girls, like, come on, you guys, let's just stay for like 1 more round of drinks. But they were adamant that they wanted to leave. Now, if you are in a group of girls that you know, and the group wants to go home, baby girl, I know you want to turn up, you want to have more fun, but don't force matters. When you force matters, that's when things start to go haywire. Now, I was adamant that I wanted to stay, and the guy who was interested in me, he was like, okay, cool, I'll stay with you. We can party together. And that was all I needed to hear. So we go to this club. We go to this Irish bar in Long Street, and, you know, people are dancing. It was a cool vibe. The guy that I was with, he didn't want to dance. He sat down. Now, as I'm dancing, I noticed there were a couple of guys trying to talk to me, but like I said, I just wanted to dance that night. I really wasn't trying to meet anyone. But there was this one guy in particular, this white guy, who was standing from across the room. And I'll never forget him because he had a drink in his hand and he was staring right at me. Now, you know when somebody stares at you, I think because I've been gaslit so many times, that when somebody's staring right at me, I assume that I'm imagining things, or I assume that, you know, he's just lost in thought. But my mind never goes to, he's staring at me, something is wrong. Even though my gut instinct was like, this is making me feel uncomfortable. I didn't allow myself to entertain those thoughts. I just kept dancing. I just kept having a good time. Now, the club eventually closes at about, I think it was about 2 o'clock, but it was still early in the morning. Now, when the club closed, I asked the guy that I was with if he could order me an Uber, and he would just make it a cash trip, and I would pay for it. Tell me why this man standing right next to me switches off his data. Like, I don't see what he's doing. So he switches off his data and he's all like, oh, sorry, I don't have any data. Maybe you can just come over to my place. You can chill there, and then in the morning you can leave. I'm like, no, I'm not going to go sleep over in your, no. So, like, I could see right through him. He just wanted to take me home, and I wasn't having it. So I become aggravated with him. I turn, and remember the guy I was telling you guys about, the one who had the glass, the one who was drinking and staring at me. Baby boy is standing, like, right next to me. So this was red flag number 2. I turn and he's standing right next to me, so I'm just kind of like, hey, do you have Uber on your phone? He then is all like, oh, why do you need Uber? So I tell him the story that, oh, I'm trying to get home, and he's all like, no, the night is still early. Let's go to another club. It's still open. We can still have more fun. And then after like 4 o'clock, I can order you an Uber. So I'm like, cool, whatever, let's go. So me and the guy get into a cab with some random stranger. Can you see how this story is already starting to go south? I don't know either of these men. They don't know my situation, and I'm intoxicated and I'm leaving with them. I mean, when I say this, I cringe, and I had so much guilt about this. You know what I mean? But anyways, we go around looking for clubs. Obviously, no club is going to let us in, and the clubs are closed. And the first guy, he got aggravated, and he just got out of the cab, and he went home. So now I'm in a cab with somebody that I do not know. And this is where I think my naivety comes into play. Because this boy, the guy who's holding the bottle or the glass or whatever, he says we're gonna call him Jason. So Jason says, hey, I'll order you an Uber, but can we first go to my place? I just want to smoke. So I'm like, okay, cool, yeah, like that's totally chilled. We can definitely chill and smoke, and then you can order me an Uber. So we go to his apartment. Now, we're sitting outside his apartment. We're sitting like in the garden area, and we're talking. Now, as we're talking and he's busy smoking his cigarette, he gets a text message from his flatmate. And his flatmate is all like, you guys are making a noise. Can you please keep it down? So he's all like, oh, snap, like we're making a noise. Can we go inside my room and then you know, so that we're not disturbing my flatmate who's sleeping. So I'm like, cool, yeah, of course we can. So now I'm going into the bedroom of a man that I do not know. So, you know, we go into his bedroom and we're sitting on the bed and we're just talking the same way I'm talking to you. We're just talking. Nowhere in my mind, nowhere in the farthest reaches of my mind could I ever have imagined that this guy was interested in me, that this guy would try and hook up with me. I just thought he was being friendly. I thought he was just being friendly and he was just making conversation. I never thought that my safety was in jeopardy. I never thought that the situation was compromising. I just assumed he was talking to me friendly-like. You know what I mean? So we're talking and he's making jokes. He's being really sweet. Tell me why this boy goes under the covers. So now I'm sitting on the bed and he's under the covers and the conversation dies. He's just like staring at me and I'm awkwardly sitting on his bed like at that point I could pick up that something was wrong, but it was almost as though if I said anything, I was giving power to a fear. So I just sat there like awkwardly and he could see that I was awkward. So he's all like, and mind you, I'm like wearing this like short little dress. Like I'm wearing this like one piece and it's freaking cold. We don't have central heating in South Africa. So he's all like, you know, you can go under the covers. Like, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to do anything. So at this point, I'm like, fuck it. You know, like, whatever. I'm already in his room. I might as well. So I go under the covers. Tell me why this boy starts trying to feel on me, starts kissing me, starts doing the most. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, what is happening? I just, like, when I encountered him, I just thought he was just being a friendly guy. I never thought that he had the intentions of taking me home and being intimate with me. Like, it never crossed my mind that that's something that could happen. And now looking back, I mean, I would never make that mistake again because I think this story could have ended up really, really bad. But anyways, he starts kissing me like, and you need to understand, Jason was a huge guy. He literally could have bench pressed me with one arm. I have the upper body strength of a kitten. There was no way I could have defended myself against this man. And I was well aware of that once we were under the covers. So I'm thinking in my mind, Christabel, like, how are you going to get yourself out of this situation? You need to talk yourself out of the situation because me being Bobo the Clown, this is the third time I've ended up in bed with a guy who did not know that I was transgender. This is the third time in my life. And so help me God, there's never going to be a fourth time because I think the fourth time I'm just going to get killed. So I'm trying to talk myself out of this situation. And he's all like, oh, he then tells me, oh, he was watching me the whole night. He couldn't keep his eyes off me. He just wants to be intimate with me. And I'm just like, no. I'm trying to find every excuse in the book. And I'm like, I'm not on any type of, like, I'm not on birth control right now. And he's all like, we can use a condom. And I'm like, no, I really can't. And he's like, no, like, we have to, like, and he literally, as I'm saying no to him, he's lifting my skirt up. He's lifting my skirt up. And you don't have to do that much work to lift up a mini skirt, to lift up this one piece. You know what I mean? And I'm, like, frantic, like, yeah, my tech is good, but if he rubs on that kitty cat just a little bit, he's gonna figure out that I am in fact one of the girls and I cannot be killed by this man. So I'm like, no, it's that time of the month, like you can't. And he's just pressing, he's just insistent. And I literally am like, it got to a point where I was like, you're making me feel uncomfortable. Please stop. Do you think this boy listened to any of that? It got to a point where he got aggravated, and then which I don't understand, like, how are you the one getting aggravated when, so it gets to a point where he's all like, we're gonna do something. If it's not like, full on coitus, we're gonna do something. And when he said that, and he said this like, because initially he was all like, being really sweet and like trying to convince me and telling me how beautiful I am. Then when he said that, his voice changed, he got stern, and he was like, we're gonna do something. And I was just kind of like, girl, you need to make a plan. You need to make a plan, because this boy, if you don't try to make something happen, he is going to undress you. He's going to undress you, and then you're going to be in a situation. So, and for the longest time, I had so much guilt about this, because I remember hearing stories of girls who would get intimate with guys, and I would just, shake my head and be like, girl, how are you going to do that with somebody? And they don't know your situation. But I really, and this is not to justify my actions, like, I take full responsibility of my own part. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I feel like he pushed me into a situation that I was uncomfortable with. And all of the blame can't come to me. You know what I mean? So I was just like, okay, cool, I'll blow you off then. I can't believe I'm saying this. But yeah, so we do that. And he finishes and whatever. And I just remember that situation really messed me up. Like, it really just, yeah, like for 2 months I was MIA. Like, I wasn't going to like clubs and stuff. I just wasn't hanging out with my friends and stuff. We do that. He goes to sleep, and I am just like lying in bed with somebody I don't even know. And I don't know, like, I just felt so bad about myself. Like, I grew up Mormon. I grew up believing that I would wait until marriage before I lost my virginity. I just wasn't like that, you know what I mean? And what made it worse was I kind of felt like he had pushed me into doing something that I wasn't comfortable doing. So I just lie awake wanting for it to be morning, because I'm like, whatever, like, I just want to go and be away from this dude. So morning hits, and now I'm worried that, he's sobered up. I'm worried that he's going to clock me. At this point, all of my makeup is all but gone, and my hair is a mess. I look like I've just been dragged through the bushes. And I'm just worried that he's going to like clock me. And if he clocks me now, after we had done something intimate, oh, it's lights out. Baby, oh, it's lights out. So we wake up, and he's all like, he's going to drive me, he's going to take me home. So we get into his car. And, he was really chatty, but at this point, I kind of didn't even want to talk to him. I was just, like, sitting in the car, like, okay, yeah, sure. Because I just wanted to be out of that situation. And it frustrated me that I gave this boy so much power. I gave him so much power because, I think once I got out of the situation, I started to look at how I could have done things differently. Like, not even gonna get into that. But I remember I just got home, and you know, I got myself into the bathtub and I just cried in the bathtub because I just felt dirty. I felt so dirty. I mean, he hadn't like penetrated me or anything like that, but I still felt dirty and I still felt nasty. And now looking back, I can sort of see, I can now tell when a guy is interested in me. I can tell when a guy is trying to get me home. But I hate the fact that the dating scene has become this game, you know, like guys, especially guys in South Africa, or especially white guys in South Africa, they're not really upfront when they want you. They'll just like drop little hints here and there. And yeah, like you can easily get yourself into a situation. You can easily get yourself into a situation when a guy is being super, super nice to you, a guy that you don't know, and you are one of the girls, you just have to assume that he doesn't know. I don't care how far you are in transition. It could be day number 2. I mean, I have a friend who, he's a gay guy, and he dressed in drag the one night, and then the following night, and he was getting hit on, and people didn't know that he was actually a gay boy in drag. So I don't care how far you are in transition. I don't care how much dysphoria you have, or if other people have been able to tell. You don't know if somebody knows until they tell you. And going out, being in the nightlife, being in that scene, it's very easy to get backed into a corner, meet a guy, and you think he's one of your bros. Conti, baby boy, has been trying to pipe a Barbie. He's been trying to get you. So just be careful and just remember, you know, there's so much violence in our community, but just remember to not shoulder all of the blame. It's one thing to learn from your regrets. I think regrets are a powerful thing and a good thing because they show us how much we've grown as people, and they show us how much we've matured. You know, given a second chance, I would never have put myself in a situation like that. I would have left with my friends when my friends wanted to leave. Now I know better. Now I know better. Now I know to, 1, never go out by myself, 2, leave when my friends are leaving, and 3, to not just get into random cars with guys. This is how we end up dead. So, you know, I always joke about, you know, like, be safe, please take care of yourself. But take it from me, I've been one of the lucky girls. I should have been, you know, like, chopped up years ago. But were it not for the grace of God or my guardian angels, I am still here to tell this story. So just be careful. Don't be a statistic. I love you. You are beautiful. And we're going to get through this together. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Love you guys. Bye.